that was all live music
It was all
initially.
live
Okay.
music,
So
yeah.
you had not yet made an album at that point.
In between there, I had a friend of mine. I really liked playing in duos. That was probably one of my favorite things to do because you had other creative people to talk to. You weren't by yourself and stuck to your, left to your own devices and having to do a whole night's worth of entertainment.
Right.
It was so much fun to do, do a set, and then they would do a set, and then we would do a set together. We could play and things of that sort. There was another guy that I grabbed. He had a really good voice, and he was a good songwriter. And we got together and started writing some songs together. And we ended up putting, in those days, we put out a cassette. Started playing rock and roll. Again, it was that time where the cost to get into a studio was really high, and I wasn't making a lot of money in those days. So we would just record on little 4-track cassette recorders and just make our own music that way.
Okay. Whatever way you can, I guess. That makes sense. Now, was that in Missouri or?
No, this is all in California, in San Diego. Griffiths and Rio was the name of our duo. And I was also in the band called Runnin' Wild, which is the 90s country band.
Okay.
And I was also in the Boneheads, which was my rock and roll band. And that was
so you've dabbled in a little bit of every genre.
A little bit of everything,
That's
throw the
super
blues
fun.
in there and throw some rock and roll and things of that sort.
Do you have a favorite genre that you like to play?
I'm a firm believer of chapters in one's life. And I think musically the same way. If you really want to grow, you have to change and you have to move and you have to do other things and new things. And for me, that's how I felt. I had my 80s rock and roll, I had my 90s country. Where I am today, though, is playing, playing breweries and wineries, playing 70s acoustic rock. It's an easy step to go from there to what I call Americana. And Americana for me is anything that's got a little bit of a twang, it's got a little bit of blues, it's got a little bit of rock. It can be played on an acoustic, and it incorporates those sounds that I'm starting to experience here in Missouri.
I think you portray that really well. You can tell that when you sing and when you play with your other bands. You can feel that, and you're very passionate about what you do too, which I appreciate. So I think we can all get on the Americana train. I do anyway. So.
That's great. I'm glad.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So do you have another song for us?
Yeah, I do. I have one talking about Griffiths and Rio being the old coffee house duo that I played. I wrote a song called Lost Like the Rest of Us Fools. And
I like it already.
It's what I would call a ditty. And see if I can get through it the first time without forgetting the words. Got to wet the fingers a little bit.
Oh, it's getting serious now.
Here we go. The world is tough, I don't have to tell you. It gets so rough, sometimes it can kill you. You better watch your step, girl. You better back it up, girl. 'Cause if you don't keep your eyes wide open, you'll be lost like the rest of us fools. The times are hard, I know you have found. The turn of a card could turn it all around. You better watch your step, girl. You better back it up, girl. 'Cause if you don't keep your eyes wide open, you'll be lost like the rest of us fools. You could see them everywhere, the heads in the clouds and the thumbs in the air. It's a dog-eat-doggy world, all in need of a ride someone else has to drive. No, they can't seem to get it together. We're all praying for sunnier weather. The love we had is falling to pieces. The good that turned bad, I hope they will teach us. Get hide your heart, girl. You better love real smart, girl. 'Cause if you don't keep your eyes wide open, you'll be lost like the rest of us fools. You'll be lost like the rest of us fools.
I love it. I love the whistling. That's my favorite part. That's great.
I'm not a real good whistler, as you can tell, but it kind of fits the song.
So you have, I hear you have a lot of grandchildren. You've got a good
do.
family.
I have 13 grandchildren right now.
Wow.
Yeah, that's grandchildren, both blood grandchildren and also through marriage and things of that sort. But they're all grandkids to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I also have 2 great-grandsons.
Do any of them play music as well? Do they play with you, or?
I have one grandson who is playing guitar now. He's learning how to do
exciting.
that. And he seems to be doing well. He enjoys it.
Do you play with him at all?
I played with him a little bit here and there. He's a John Mayer fan. He kind of picked the most difficult guitar player to learn first. So
Just dove right in.
even to keep up with him, I have to work hard.
That's good. That's good, though.
Yeah, he's
Good
doing
thing.
well. And I also have another grandson here in Rolla that plays the tenor drums in the marching band right now. So.
Oh, cool.
Garrett and Cameron, if it's 3 a.m. and you're watching TV.
Shout out. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you have a musically inclined family.
My daughter, one of my daughters, Cassandra, she is a worship leader at a church in St. George, Utah. And she has a wonderful voice.
Now, you have some church history as well that I've heard.
Yes. Through my stumbling, in 1997, I gave my heart to Jesus and was born again. And I started playing worship music in a home fellowship and also on the worship team in San Diego when I was out there. And then I started a Christian rock band out there.
Okay.
And I started writing Christian rock songs. And we put together a CD. The name of the band is Sinner Saved. The first CD that we put out was called One. It's a 5-song EP. It's out there on iTunes. If you look up Sinner Saved, all one word, probably the most important thing, just using the basic tenets of music. Music is an emotional vehicle. You know, if you want to portray a feeling, put it to words and then sing it, put it to music. And I think everybody can relate to that. And so when we're talking about worship music, we can talk about the happiness and the joy that we have in our hearts. We can talk about the awe that we have for Jesus Christ and for God and what He's doing in our lives. We can also talk about the sadness of the things that we want to overcome. I like to write about that. I like to relate to people with that through music. And that's where a lot of the music that I write now is about. It's being a saved Christian and then living day in and day out. The next song I want to play, like I had said before, when I would listen to the country oldies back in San Diego way back when, there was a song that I really liked by Waylon Jennings called Lukenbach, Texas. So that's what I'm going to play now.
Awesome. Love it.
And when I sing this song, I'm reminded of one of the 2 things that he sings about. He says there's only 2 things in life that make it worth living. Is guitars that tune good and firm feeling women. That's the other part.
There you go.
Anyway, what can you say? There's only 2 things in life that make it worth living. There's guitars that tune good and firm feeling women. I don't need my name in the marquee lights. Got my song. Got you with me tonight. Maybe it's time we got back to the basics of love. Let's go to Lukenbach, Texas, with Waylon and Willie and the boys. This successful life of living's got us feuding like the Hatfields and McCoys. Between Hank Williams' pain songs and Newberry's train songs and Blue Eyes crying in the rain. Out in Lukenbach, Texas, there ain't nobody feeling no pain. So baby, let's sell your diamond rings, buy some boots and faded jeans and go away. This coat and tie is choking me. In your high society, you'll cry all day. We've been so busy keeping up with the Joneses, 4-car garage, and we're still building on. Maybe it's time we got back to the basics of love. Let's go to Lukenbach, Texas, with Waylon and Willie and the boys. This successful life of living's got us feuding like the Hatfields and McCoys. Between Hank Williams' pain songs and Newberry's train songs and Blue Eyes crying in the rain. Out in Lukenbach, Texas, there ain't nobody feeling no pain. Let's go to Lukenbach, Texas, with Willie and Waylon and the boys. This successful life we're living's got us feuding like Hatfields and McCoys. Between Hank Williams' pain songs and Jerry Jeff's train songs and Blue Eyes crying in the rain. Out in Lukenbach, Texas, there ain't nobody feeling no pain. Well, out in Lukenbach, Texas, there ain't nobody feeling no pain.
I love Waylon. It's so good. My grandpa always played Waylon, Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, and so that, and the slower songs. He liked the slower, waltz beats. So that makes me think of my grandpa who taught me how to play guitar as well. So yeah, so that's awesome.
That's nice.
Yeah.